Okay, this is pretty much 9 o'clock, folks. We just heard an alarm go off or a bell. Let's see what happens. All right, we're hearing.
Brendan,
I'm not hearing what's coming over the radio, but based on a radio call, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just going to ask you. I know they're getting into place tactically. Any of the protesters or anyone throwing any objects over there towards the police or National Guardsmen?
Yeah, interestingly, they're not, Ron. The last couple of nights, or the last couple of nights when they did fire tear gas, not last night, they were throwing water bottles and other objects. We haven't seen any of that tonight. So there hasn't been any violence directed toward the police or the National Guard tonight. They have kept it peaceful, loud but peaceful. Some people are beginning to disperse, but others are hanging around. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens next at this point. We saw them shaking the barricade a few minutes ago, but that's it. Other than that, what we've actually seen is a lot of dialogue between individual officers and protesters. So at this point, it's a waiting game. We're going to see what happens. There's a tension in the air,
the metal barrier.
Anticipation of what's next.
Sorry, Brendan, the metal barrier that was there in front of the police, have they moved that out of the way? I know they couldn't move the plastic ones filled with water on the sides, but those metal barriers, are they out of the way so they could advance?
Yes, it appears they are, Ron. It appears they're out of the way. It's hard for me to see from here. I do have a camera sort of on a pole. But it does appear that the metal barricade that is obviously so the police and the National Guard can move forward with the line. We're still seeing a core group of protesters right up in front with the clenched fists in the air in sign of solidarity. And there's still some signs in the air. One says, "Am I next?" But right now, you could hear a pin drop out here other than the police radios. The National Guard does have their shields up, their masks down, their face shields down, and they also have their gas masks on. And all you can hear essentially is a hovering police helicopter overhead. That's it.
Well, obviously, really tense situation, ladies. As you can see, that more of the demonstrators are still moving up to the front line and refusing to leave. Hopefully, this ends peacefully, but it appears that it may not now that we're 2 minutes into the curfew, Aisha and J-Bell.